Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Justin. I'm recording this video about 2 days after Thanksgiving. I'm still recovering from all the turkey and the stuffing and all that good stuff. So hopefully you guys had some good time with family and friends and everything when it comes to Thanksgiving. I always talk about the 3 F's: family, football, and food. So hopefully you had a good one. All right, so this video is really looking at a super investor. All the 13F filings came out in the last couple of weeks. And one of the super investors I personally follow is Seth Klarman. He manages about $5 billion worth of funds, which is absolutely just incredible. According to Dataroma, which is all the 13F filings, which are stocks on the American Stock Exchange, not other international stock exchange. He has roughly 44 different holdings there. So in this video, I want to talk about the 3 new buys he had last quarter. There's another stock that he's been adding pretty heavily into, which we'll be talking about today. And then he sold out of 9 different stocks during the quarter, which we'll just briefly go over as well. So hopefully you get some value out of this. If you do, smash the thumbs up button. It really helps out the channel a lot, and I really do appreciate it. So let's just jump right into this. All right, so what you see on your screen now is from dataroma.com, free website where you can track a bunch of different super investors on. And you can see this is Seth Klarman's portfolio, 44 different stocks, according to his 13F filings as of Q3, which is September 30th, 2022, roughly about $5.6 billion in his portfolio. So the first stock I want to talk about is a stock that he has owned and he's been adding pretty heavily to, and that is Warner Brothers Discovery, ticker symbol WBD. So he added about 60% of his position. So he added 11 million shares, added about 2%. To his portfolio, and right now it's worth about 6% of his portfolio. Warner Brothers Discovery is a stock I personally own, so it makes it even more interested that he's buying more of it. But essentially, Warner Media, which spun off of AT&T, merged with Discovery. Now they're called Warner Brothers Discovery. There is a ton of debt on this company, which is scaring a lot of people. If you look at their enterprise value, it's somewhere around 60 or 70 billion. Their market caps are around 30 billion. So they have around $50 billion of debt, which is scaring a lot of folks, which I totally understand. But they have been paying down debt pretty aggressively, about $6 billion here in the last 2 quarters. And they're trying to deleverage themselves. I think they get about $14 billion of EBITDA by next year. I've been saying this is a stock that really in 2024 is when we're really going to see, hopefully, everything come to fruition while these 2 big companies are trying to harmonize. It's going to cost a lot of money over the next 18 months on trying to, I'd say, lean out the fat. Trying to become more efficient there. So interesting, he has continued to add to that position, which I find pretty interesting. So now let's talk about his 3 buys during the quarter. And the first one is LAD, which is Lithium Motors Incorporated. He had about 250,000 shares, about 1% of his portfolio. So this is a company that has about 280 locations. They sell used and new cars. They also sell parts as well. This is a stock. Actually, let's go take a look at them real quick. And their stock price as of today is $229. And the stock itself is down about 22% year to date. The market cap, I want to say it's around 6 billion. Yeah, so around 6 billion. So not a huge company by any means, but not a small company either. So interesting, he bought this one. If you look at just a quick valuation, and one metric I like to look at is enterprise value over EBIT. And if we look at a 10-year chart on this one, right now it's around a 6, and on average it's usually around a 13. So according to this, at least, it's about half of what it's been trading at. So I don't know too much about this company. I haven't done a deep dive into them yet. Maybe I will in the future. But if you have this particular stock in your portfolio, drop down in the comments below why you like this stock and as if it's a good value, because it looks like it might be based on this information without doing a deep dive on it. Now, the next stock that he bought into is Fidelity National Information Services, that is ticker symbol FIS. This one actually interests me quite a bit. And this one, let's take a look at the stock. So right now it's trading around $65. Year to date, it is down 40%. So this one has fallen quite a bit from its high. So it was all the way up $121 at one point. So almost 50% from its highs. And it's about a $40 billion market cap, so definitely a decent-sized company. They're a payment service provider. The company provides debit and credit card processing, electronic banking services, check risk management, check cashing, merchant card processing services to financial institutions and merchants. And if we take a look at just a quick valuation metrics, enterprise value over EBIT like we did before, and let's see, go back 10 years. So right now it's trading around a 37, and that's pretty much been average with this company. But you can see that it was trading really, really rich last year, around 162, which is crazy. So this really typically tells me, since it's trading at a 37 as average, that the market has been willing to pay a very high multiple for this company over the last decade. If we look at kind of where they've been at for sales, they have been 9% top line growth. That's decent. Net income 17% per year. That's pretty good. Free cash flow 16%. That's really good. We take a look at return on equity for this company. Where are they at? Oh, so actually return on equity has not been great for this company over the last several years. Interesting. If we go back farther. Yeah, return on capital, return on equity has not been fantastic by any means. If we go back to the stock chart. So we go back, let's say 6 years. So if we go back, let's see, that's why. So we have to go. So July 20th, 2015, the stock was trading basically what it is today. So if you would have had it for the last 7 years, you'd have absolutely no return. So that's why the return on equity is so low. So it could be where maybe it's trading at a really good valuation right now, or maybe it's just been trading so richly over the last 10 years or several years. Maybe it's not good value. I'll leave that up to you if you do research on it. But if you own the stock as well, drop it down in the comments below why you like this particular stock. It is up over 80% over the last 10 years, but only 6% compounded annual growth rate. All right, so the third stock that he bought into, and I never heard of this stock before, it's called Inhabit. Ticker symbol EHAB. This is a very small company, under $1 billion. I think it's around 600 million. Yep, 650 million. So this is a company that's health and hospice services in the United States. I don't know much about this one at all. They just became a public company in the last 4 or 5 months. So there must be something here that Seth Klarman likes. I mean, the stock has dropped 47% in the last since year to date, but it's only been trading. Well, really, actually, it's dropped 47% from June. So that's obviously not good. So I don't know too much about this one. Maybe I'll do a video in the future on this one as well. It doesn't make any sense to look at valuation metrics on it because they're just so new overall. But that might be an interesting one to take a look at. Now, if we jump back to the portfolio, let's take a look at some of the sales during the quarter, and there was 9 of them. So he sold out at Intel, ticker symbol INTC, which is kind of interesting. That was roughly about 5% of his portfolio, so it's a pretty good size, and he sold out of it. Nexstar Media Group, Grab Holdings, Iron Source, Bellring Brands, Variant Systems, Noble Corp, Pershing Square, Tontine Holdings, Red Ball Acquisition Corp. So all those he sold out of. Completely interesting with Intel. Must be something there, maybe that industry specifically that he just doesn't like long term, or certainly over the next 12 to 24 months. But 2 other ones I thought were pretty interesting that he reduced during the quarter was Amazon and Google. He did not reduce his Meta position, but he did significantly reduce both of these positions. So Amazon, he sold 60% of his position, and roughly Google, he sold 60% as well. So interesting. So obviously he doesn't like that going into the near future. But on the other hand, I've seen a lot of people, a lot of super investors buying Google and Amazon as well, because they both have dropped so much. I mean, if we go take a look quick at a stock chart on both those companies. So Google, the stock has dropped roughly, let's take a look. So year to date, 32%. Amazon, it's also taken a pretty good beating too. Most of the large tech companies taken a beating this year. So Amazon's down 44%. So even more so than that. You know, Apple's actually been holding up fairly well. So Apple year to date, it's down 16%. So not nearly as bad as those other companies. Meta Platforms obviously has just been absolutely destroyed this year. So it's down 67%. So interesting. So obviously he thinks Meta has had a better valuation than Google and Amazon right now. So those are very, very interesting moves that he did in the quarter. Now, his biggest positions that he has his portfolio, he hasn't changed much with those. He has Liberty Global, Corvo Incorporated, Liberty Sirius XM, Viasat, Veritiv Corp, and then we talked about Warner Brothers as well. Another thing that I thought was kind of interesting, even though he sold out of his Intel position entirely, he did add Micron during the quarter. He added about 20%. So obviously thinks Micron with the memory chips are in a better position than Intel with their processing chips. So pretty interesting overall. So I'd be curious about you guys. I mean, what do you think about his portfolio right now? What do you think about his 9 sells that he had, his 3 new buys, then the position in adding to Warner Brothers Discovery, and then also selling or reducing quite a bit his Google and Amazon's positions? Do you agree with them? Do you disagree with them? Love to hear from you in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching. If there's another super investor you want me to do a video on, drop it down below in the comments section. I'll catch you guys on the other side. Take care and God bless.